Welcome to the second episode of Project Eunoia. Before you proceed, please know that this podcast will cover topics such as anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. So, if these are things that might trigger negative feelings and emotions, please make sure that before you proceed, you are in a right frame of mind. Otherwise, if you're ready, please enjoy the podcast. My original intention was to have a pilot episode talking about mental health and mental health awareness. However, I realized that this might not be a good idea for me alone to talk about mental health because I'm really not an expert in the area. So I found some guests who are interested to share their experiences with me and with you, our listeners. And I will let them introduce themselves. Let's start with she's a doctor. So si Doc Pearl, ito yung pinaka-bibo sa group na ito. So let's ask Doc Pearl. Doc Pearl, please introduce yourself, your background, and what you're thankful for today. Baka meron kang something na you're thankful for na pwedeng maka-inspire din sa atin.
Okay. Hello everyone. I'm Pearl. I'm a doctor and I'm a pediatric resident in one of the hospitals in Cebu. One thing that I'm thankful for today is I'm thankful that I'm still alive and I'm COVID-free.
Yes.
And that my family is safe. And I'm thankful that for now, I'm able to enjoy what I'm doing.
Yes. We're also thankful na COVID-free ka kasi frontliner ka. Okay, so lagi naming pinagpipray yung mga frontliners sa kagaya mo. So thank you for thankful for...
Napavaccine ka na po.
Oo, napavaccine.
Oh, yeah.
Kailangan.
Sana soon tayo din, di ba?
True.
So let's now move to Cha.
Ako lang ba?
Cha, teacher Cha.
Akala ko si Vina muna. Ayun. Greetings to all the listeners of Project Eunoia. I'm Cha. I'm molding the future. Joke lang. Ayun. I'm happy singing nursery rhymes to the future professionals at the moment. And one thing I'm thankful for today, siguro yung kumpletong tulog. Kasi madami yung, sa sobrang dami ng ginagawa, parang deprive ka sa sleep. Pero ako, na-achieve ko naman yung kompletong 8 hours. So, yun. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Celebrate that small win. We want that. Lalo na ngayong panahon na to.
Totoo.
Thank you, Teacher Cha. And then, si teacher din to si Teacher Vina.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Vina. And I'm an ESL teacher. Yeah, so per licensed teacher po ako. Wala naman ako sa school ngayon. And yun, something that I'm grateful for today is that kanina kasi ang lakas ng trip ko kasi parang na-inspire ako sa podcast natin last night. Sabi ko, gusto ko rin makachikahan ng ganun yung family ko. So nagkaroon kami ng bonding time kanina na parang Q&A portion lang, ganyan. So random questions and then it suddenly escalated, naging deep talks siya bigla. So yun, nakakatuwa lang na I got to know them better after that session. So parang yun, nakakaliw lang.
Wow. That's so nice. Sana marinig din nila yung podcast. Especially yung
sige,
episode
ipopromote ko
natin.
po sa kanila.
yung episode 3 and 4. Yan.
Yeah,
kasi
flex ko po ng slide.
Yes.
Slide!
Ayun. And then of course, we invited a mental health advocate. Hello, Z.
Hello, ayun. So yun guys, quick background. So I have a very brief psychology background from college. So yun. So hindi po ako expert, but I'll try my best to help Ate Abby, Zina, Pearl, and Sha to discuss what is, why mental health matters and how do we take care of it. So sana may masabi akong makakatulong sa inyo. So ayun, salamat. So one thing that I'm thankful for, I would say, is that I'm thankful that in spite of everything that's going on, we are still moving forward. So I hope that everybody still, try to move forward. So yun, I think that's what I'm thankful for. We're trying to strive better every single day. So yeah.
Thank you, Z. I'm also thankful for that. Actually, parang sa akin naman, I'm thankful for opportunities like this. You talk about things like mental health, inspiration, helping each other. Kasi I feel like these days, people don't really have these kinds of conversations. Parang, like we met each other sa Twitter. Diba? Most of the conversations there were, fangirling, diba? Kalat, mga ganyan. Pero, at the end of the day, diba, we have our lives outside of the fandom, outside of Twitter, outside of social media. And we have issues, we have struggles, and we have moments of inspiration that kung share lang sana natin, diba, sa ibang tao. Parang yung sinabi ni Vina, kung share mo lang sana siya, magagamit mo siya as an inspiration to also have conversations with people around you. Parang ang saya nun kasi you get to know yourself better, you get to know the people that you love better, and you find opportunities to also help them, support them kung ano man yung struggles na pinagdadaanan nila. And that's what we want with Project Eunoia. That's why ang focus natin is to really talk about experiences, kasi the experiences are ways for us to learn from each other. And kahit na, yun nga, disclaimer lang din, hindi kami mga mental health professional. Hopefully, yung experiences natin collectively will be able to inspire someone out there who's experiencing something similar. Diba? So, thank you to our guests for today. Salamat. Actually, this is what I'm thankful for. Thank you for accompanying me in this podcast episode kasi minsan kailangan may kausap ka din, di ba? Mas exciting siya at mas masaya. So let's move on to the topic at hand. So, nabanggit kanina ni Z. So, why mental health matters and how to take care of it. That's what we really want to talk about. So, I want to raise this question kasi baka meron pang nako-confuse or baka meron pang mga hindi pa clear sa kanila. Ano ba talaga ang mental health? What does it mean? Ano ba yung scope ng mental health? So, I wanna give the floor to Z to let her talk about what is mental health. What's the definition?
Yeah. So, what I'm going to do is siguro gawin na lang natin na mas madaling maintindihan, no? So, from the get-go kasi mental health, people would think mental health is just basically, psychological. But when generally mental health doesn't just talk about psychological, it's a state of well-being. So that involves your emotional or yung feelings mo, yung nararamdaman mo. Psychological, the way kung paano ka mag-isip, paano mo na-perceive yung mga bagay-bagay sa paligid mo. Social well-being also is a part of it. Social is basically your relationship with other people. But also that includes your interpersonal well-being. So kung paano mo kinakausap yung sarili mo, paano mo dinadama yung sarili mo. So generally, when we talk about mental health, it's an overall state of well-being as an individual or bilang isang tao. So yun talaga siya. Siguro majority of the time, mga tao kasi they think na kapag pag sinabi mong mental health, unang-una nilang naiisip is, psychology, ganyan-ganyan. Yes, it is. But mental health is basically you as an individual and how it affects you on a general in a general matter. Kumbaga, kasi kung ano yung iniisip mo, it reflects also to your body. So, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Pearl, no? Meron tayong tinatawag na psychosomatic disorders. So, ito yung mga parang iniisip mo, masama yung pakiramdam mo, mamaya masama na talaga yung pakiramdam mo kasi it reflects also to you. Same thing din kapag masama yung, alam niyo yung fan fact na mas masakit ma-broken heart feeling emotionally kaysa physically.
Yeah.
Bakit ka mo? Kasi it gives you, sorry, nagre-react po ang aking anak sa background. So it gives you, alam mo yung masikip sa dibdib, mahirap explain na feelings, para kang hindi makahinga. So pag ganun yung nararamdaman mo, it is really painful physically, because whatever is internally within your head manifests sa ano yung pakiramdam mo sa physical. So kaya ako sinasabi na, like ko to sinasabi sa mga nagtatanong, like ko sinasabi sa kanila na kaya important, kaya dapat maintindihan mo kung ano ibig sabihin ng mental health, kasi ikaw yon, kabuuan mo yon. Ano ba yung status mo as an individual, physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, and interpersonal relationship with yourself. Kasi that is very important. And that reflects also to your, physical well-being. Kaya papansin ko, di ba, yung mga masayahin, hindi sila madaling magkasakit. Di ba? I mean, on general observation lang, di ba? Hindi sila madaling magkasakit. Kasi their immunity is high as well. So, dapat palagi mo din talaga, hindi ko sinasabi maging palaging positive, hindi yun yung ibig ko sabihin. If feelings are all valid, yes, valid naman yan. Kaya lang, let's filter it. Let's try to be more, ito yung favorite term namin ni Cha. Diba? Teacher Cha, ito yung favorite term namin, self-regulation. So, when we talk about mental health, it's not just the outside, but also internally. So, you have to also self-regulate your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, kung ano iniisip mo. Kasi kung ano iniisip mo, part yon ng mental health mo. Kung ano yung nararamdaman mo, part ng mental health mo yun. Kung ano yung respond mo sa social interactions mo sa iba, part yun ng mental health mo. And babalik ulit ako dun sa aspeto na pag yun, hindi maganda yung respond mo, it would slowly parang weaken you personally, physically, kasi may mga factors na masama sa pakiramdam pagka hindi ka okay. So, di ba, nakikita niyo yung mga taong malungkot, tumatamlay sila, ganyan. So, tendency noon, usually nangyayari kasi dyan is hindi ka nakakatulog, so nagkakasakit ka, hindi ka nakakakain, so nagkakasakit ka, tapos mahina energy mo. So yun yung mga factors na mapapansin nyo na attributing talaga siya, gano'n ka laki yung attribute ng mental health mo dun sa physical mo. Kaya siya dapat, tinitignan mo siya on, paano ko ba sasabihin? Holistic approach. Yeah. Kumbaga. So, ayun. Oo. So, tama ba ako doon, Dr. Pearl? May doktor tayo dito eh. Oo.
President Dr. Pearl.
Pero Doc Pearl pala yun, may na-encounter ka ba na ganun, na pasyente na, alam mo yun, lumapit sa'yo, may symptoms, ganito nararamdaman, tapos, you did tests, tapos, na wala namang anything wrong with the person, tapos na-conclude mo na maybe this person needs psychological support. May ganun na ba na-encounter ka?
Meron na po. I think I was an intern at that time. This middle-aged woman came into the ER, and then she was complaining of difficulty in breathing. Pero all her vital signs were normal. Wala kaming makita na ECG niya normal. So, we were thinking na maybe this is not it's not caused by something physically. It could be anxiety. So, what we did was, we talked to her husband. It turned out that she had issues with her family. So ayun, refer namin to a psychologist. And also, fun fact lang, kasi there's this thing we call takotsubo cardiomyopathy. So this is, it has the same symptoms as heart attack, but it does not really have any underlying heart problem. So wala talagang like physically normal yung tao. It's just that he or she is experiencing symptoms of heart attack. So this is also called a broken heart syndrome.
So like
So,
literal na broken heart.
literally broken heart.
Ayun yung
So,
sinasabi ko,
yes.
Doc Pearl. Diba? Yan yung Doc Pearl, no?
Oo,
Yan,
yun.
oo. Yan yun. Totoo yan, guys.
Ah.
Legit yan. Hindi kami nagbibiro. May doktor po dito.
Baka may mga gusto magpatunay na broken heart. Char. Pero I think I've read that somewhere na meron talagang ganong condition na literal na broken heart. So it's because of like an emotional condition or a trauma or of some kind. Okay. So that's just interesting. And I think maganda nga na meron tayong doktor talaga na can validate, 'di ba, yung sinasabi ni Zina. Yun, whatever you're thinking, you're feeling affects your physical well-being as well. So when you look at mental health, correct me, Z, you look at the totality of how that person is, 'di ba? Kaya din siguro, I mean, if you look up like parang symptoms of depression, 'di ba? If you look up symptoms of depression, if you're just curious, makikita mo doon puro physical symptoms, 'di ba? Ganyan, tapos weight gain, weight loss, yung mga ganun may physical manifestations yung conditions na psychological. So thank you for clarifying what mental health means. Kung ano yung mga nandun sa conditions na meron kang maganda or hindi magandang mental health condition. Pero and then I think na nahapiawan na rin ni Z kanina yung meaning or yung parang telltale signs that a person has good mental health. But are there any other signs, for example, that we can use to say na okay, this person is doing quite well, okay ang kanyang mental health, and then in opposite naman, ano naman yung specific na signs that this person or someone is not in a good condition when it comes to their mental health? Meron bang contrasting differences? Meron ba tayong makikita na ganon? So maybe not just physically but behaviors, like how they behave, how they act.
Actually, para masabi na what's a good mental health, no? Usually kasi, 'di ba, like tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, no, it's a holistic approach kasi that people don't, it's not just necessarily how you feel, how you think, but also everything in general that revolves on your physical well-being, psychological and emotional well-being. When we see kasi scientifically and aside of psychology, psychological approach, we see that the person is fully functional as an individual. So when you say fully functional individual, they don't necessarily has a an impact or has a parang effect to other people na negative when we're talking about that mental health. What's a good mental health? Pero yun yung side ng social. A fully functional individual kasi they know exactly how to regulate their emotions. They're fully aware of the consequences, and they're very mindful. So one of the things that you would notice is that lahat naman tayo dito, for sure, we are aware of this na as we grow older, we realize how much of an impact our emotions are when we put it out there. If we put it recklessly out there, or if we try to be more impulsive, we see that, diba? So mentally, ang masasabi ko pag sinabi mong good mental health, meron kang full awareness and you try to regulate it. Hindi man perfect, pero you try to regulate it para hindi maging out of hand. Kasi mga example niyan is I think si Doc Pearl also may nakita na yun sa ER, no? Yung mga nagwawala, yung mga nag-aamok. May nakita na kayo na nag-aamok, yung hindi na nila kayang i-control yung emotions nila and they just break down. So yun, isa yun sa mga parang example nung parang hindi kayang mag-regulate ng emotion. So meron kami tinatawag sa psych na 4D. 4D ang tawag namin doon. Para masabi namin parang meron silang mental health problem. generally. So one of the four is deviant to the society. So deviant sila sa maraming normal sa mga normal function, deviant talaga sila as an individual. May dysfunction dun sa paano sila nag-function on a daily basis, and they're also putting distress to other people, and also they could be a danger for other people and to also to themselves. Oo. So kaya very important din na babalik tayo sa aspeto na ikaw as an individual, you're fully aware. Kaya nga favorite namin ni Cha yung term na self-regulation. Kasi dapat alam mo talagang i-regulate yung sarili mo. Not because strong ka. Kasi lahat naman tayo may moment of weakness. Pero 'di ba, it's very important to reflect sa psychology tawag namin that introspection. So sa regular term, reflection nung kung ano yung mga ginagawa mo on a daily basis and how you would be able to improve that or how you'd be able to become better person. And also, that would help you realize your full potential. Diba? Yung paano ka nag-cope with sa stress sa araw-araw. Yun yung why. Kasi marami tayong mga hindi lang bata, matatanda na nangyayari, they would fall fit to their own emotion, nag-breakdown sila. So yun. So nangyayari, hindi nila nakakope with, nag-end up sila having a mental issue. So maraming ganun kasi. Majority of the time, makikita mo dyan yung sobrang daming iniisip, tapos nag-breakdown na lang. Sila talaga yung hindi nakapag-regulate ng emotion. So hindi nila. So once you're self-regulation, pwede yan yung you go out, you talk to other people, or you try to at least do it in another form of sublimation is also a type of defense mechanism. Nag-ano ka ng arts o kaya ng music. Depende kung paano mo siya ilalabas. As long as hindi siya violently nagagawa. So more in a productive manner, I would say, para makapag-cope ka with stress. And also, you work productively sa mga ginagawa mo on a daily basis. And let's include naman yung also dapat you also feel as an individual na meaningful yung contribution mo to the society and to the community. Kasi iba-iba yung definition natin ng meaningful, 'di ba? Hindi man meaningful para sa isa yung ginagawa mo, but for you feel that there's a meaning to it, and then you have to do it, 'di ba? So it's really a matter of how also would impact your mental health. Kasi problema kasi natin ngayon, very subjective yung mga tao sa kung ano yung meaningful. Pero nakakalimutan natin that we are all individuals with different things that we do. And we have different passions. So we have to also respect that part. So I think that also has a big impact to other people's mental health and the people around us. So dapat kung okay tayo mentally, dapat okay din tayo mentally okay din yung impact natin with other people. Hindi lang tayo dapat hindi tayo nakaka-distress kumbaga ng ibang tao. So yun yung part nung sinasabi ko. Sana naintindihan, sorry. Oo.
I mean that's a good insight, no? Kasi ngayon ko lang din na-realize, nga, no? Parang it's not just like looking at you, ano yung symptoms or ano yung mga conditions na meron ka, but you can use other people around an individual. For example, a person, you're looking at a person, you can also use the people around that person as a gauge kung siya ay merong maganda or meron siyang mental health, na good mental health, nasa magandang condition yung kanyang mental health, diba? Ngayon ko lang na-realize nga, no, you can use it as a gauge kasi some people siguro kaya din meron mong sinasabi na toxic yung tao na yan, toxic kasama yan, ganyan. Maybe because that person's behaviors actually affect other people around him or her negatively. So what we're trying to say is baka merong mental health issue na pinagdadaanan siya.
Kaya ako sinasabi din na ganun. Kasi dapat, kasi ako, di ba, mental health advocate ako personally, no? I would say that it's not just supposed to be focused on you. Kasi sabi nila sa psych, it's individually focused. However, malaki ang factor ng society. When I say society, the first society that we have is our family. Diba? So how our family treats us also has an impact on how we're gonna manage to assess our own mental health or maintain or take care of ourselves personally. So malaking factor yon. And siguro pwede na rin ako magbigay ng kasi mga common naman na 18 naman ata yung ibang listener dito, no? So
Yes.
I think if you guys watch Josh blog, makikita niyo yun, 'di ba? Medyo he had to take care of himself. So nagkaroon siya ng part of himself that he is on a survival mode. So he has to take care of himself. Buti na lang, he was very strong as a person mentally. Mentally kasi may iba magbe-breakdown na dun sa experiences niya. However, hindi lahat ganon. So, yun yung example na sinasabi ko na hindi lang siya ikaw as a person, but also the society around you. So, if you want to be a person who would be able to take care also of other people, and you also want to raise awareness to mental health and wellness, I would suggest that you also take care of, looking into the people around you and how you could, give a better impact to it and, help them become aware. Oo. Kasi yung iba, yung mga toxic na tao, hindi talaga sila aware na toxic sila. Yung mga ganon, oo. Minsan hindi talaga, meron namang nananadya talaga. Yun yung mga nakakainis. Oo, meron talagang ganon na masarap minsan mapitik, ganon, makurot. Pero yung mga taong hindi sila aware kasi hindi sila namulat. Masyado silang sheltered. Meron namang iba na hindi nga sheltered pero hindi aware kung na walang nagsasabi sa kanila na meron na silang
no one is correcting them or giving feedback na well, hey, you're behaving off or ganito.
Kaya may mga tao na babalik ako doon sa example ko kay Josh, no, na very harsh yung reality nila kaya masyado silang naging self-conscious, masyadong naging self-aware kasi na survival mode sila. So maraming mga ganon na tao. Kaya masasabi, kaya ako din sinasabi, agree ako sa sinabi mo na dapat talaga titignan natin lahat ng aspeto. Kasi yun yung mali yun yung mali ng iba na hindi, okay lang yan kasi okay naman siya pero okay ba yung mga tao sa paligid niya? Yun.
I think na-validate naman kasi like when I work in HR and yung experience ko din, I deal with a lot of managers, di ba? And then sometimes, people come to you, magko-complain na yung manager ko ganito, yung manager ko ganyan, yung supervisor ko ganito. And then, syempre, you don't know, you don't personally know the supervisor. So, you reserve your judgment. And then, ako, personally, I try to observe, engage. So, halimbawa, yung may merit ba yung sinasabi ng tao o yung kino-complain niya about the colleague or the supervisor or the subordinate even, you observe, you engage with the person. And then, that's when you know na, parang may merit nga yung sinasabi niya kasi ganito yung observation ko yung behavior niya ganito So, so tama yung sinabi ni Zina, sometimes you have to be aware of yourself as well as what's going on around you, how people feel when they're with you, how they behave when they're with you. Are they optimistic? Like when you get together, do you talk about things that are uplifting, diba? Or when you get together, puro mga negative lang yung pinag-uusapan nyo, diba? So, yung mga ganun. So I kinda can relate and can validate yung sinasabi ni Z, given my experience working with other people. So I want to share some numbers kasi I was trying to look for articles about mental health in the Philippines, lalo na given na yung nagkaroon tayo ng pandemic, second season na ng quarantine. Unfortunately, isa lang talaga yung na-publish. So it's really a study comparing the mental health conditions of Filipinos, and they compared 7 countries. So kasama si Vietnam, si Malaysia, si Iran, si China. So these countries, some of these countries, 7 countries siya, and then they compared they used indices in psychology, meron siyang index for stress, for anxiety, depression. I think those are the top 3 that they looked at. And then they tried to compare yung score across the different countries. So, it's good to know na hindi naman number 1 yung Pilipinas. Actually, in most of these studies, nakita ko yung Thailand yung number 1. Thailand yung nangunguna when it comes to most of the indices. Pero on average, Philippines was on the top 3. Nasa top 3. And then I tried to look for DOH articles or World Health Organization articles. And I found this article last September 2020. And it says that the Philippines consistently ranked as top 5 in the Global Optimism Index. So that's good. Kaya siguro sinasabi nila Filipinos are so resilient or very happy, ganyan. But it doesn't erase the fact that people are going through mental health issues. Hindi 100% good ang mental health ng mga Pilipino. And they reported also a significant increase in the hotline, calls for the hotline that they posted, and then maraming nagre-report that they're experiencing depression. So before the lockdown, pre-pandemic, they receive around 80 calls per month on average. But when pandemic happened, when the lockdown started, they are receiving around 400 calls per month. But that's just the people who are calling. Hindi pa kasama yung mga hindi talaga tumatawag sa hotline. So, yun lang yung ilan sa mga numbers na nakita ko. Sadly, wala kasi masyado maraming studies, sociological data and information revolving around the issue of mental health. And when you look at the study done yung sa China, yung comparing the 7 countries, wala siyang baseline. So wala din siyang baseline data na before the pandemic. So how was our indices like, specifically sa Philippines, before the pandemic happened, before all of these things, the lockdown, etc. Para mag-gauge natin kung may significant increase ba doon sa score when it comes to like depression, ganyan. So wala din kasi siyang pinapakita na data. So nakakasad lang na wala tayong mga pag-aaral na these things are relevant, 'di ba? Especially, and then you can even look at like the age groups, 'di ba? Kamusta yung mga estudyante? Because I know that right now they're going through so much with the online class, 'di ba? They don't get to meet with their friends, to talk to people face to face, and tapos yung mga young professionals natin who were suddenly forced to work from home, 'di ba? Na hindi naman karamihan sa atin hindi sanay na work from home ang trabaho, yung mga ganon. In our organization, we also tried to look at this indices, pero yun nga, wala kaming baseline eh. So ang hirap i-compare na how was it like before the pandemic and then after the pandemic. So ngayon pa lang talaga tayo nagme-measure. So na-share ko lang yung data na yun kasi parang I find research very interesting because that validates some truths that we know, like that we understand at the parang level na yung parang pakiramdam mo lang, na alam mo lang. Pero when you look at the numbers, nabavalidate siya na, kaya nga pala ganun yung pakiramdam natin, kaya pala ganito yung nakikita ko sa paligid ko. Kasi the numbers say na ganito talaga yung nangyayari. Thank you Z for sharing, experience dealing with mental health, what mental health looks like, good mental health looks like, and what mental health that needs improvement looks like. Now let's give the floor to everyone to share about their mental health. So, how was their experience like, during the pandemic? So, nung nag-start yung lockdown, throughout that one entire year, ano nangyari sa inyo? Because I know for the 18 who are listeners of the podcast, na karamihan naman sa inyo ay 18, diba, the boys shared to us in their interviews na they also went through some issues. Like, I know Stel has shared yung struggles niya with his kahit na hindi niya pinangalanan, pero he did have struggles at the beginning of the quarantine period. So meron din ba kayong ganong similar experience? And what did you do about it? to improve your well-being, ganyan. So baka meron kayo ma-share na pwedeng makarelate yung listeners natin and pwede rin nilang ma-apply sa kanilang mga sarili.
So, katulad ni Bias, okay. Nung nung 2020, it wasn't exactly a good year. Yung first half, yun, actually, sobrang happy ako na parang everything was going well with my profession, with life in general. But then, come March, nung nag-start na yung pandemic, kasi during that time, parang sobrang busy. And then biglang stop. Tapos, kasi I think, I'm not sure if I've mentioned this last time, pero apart from being an ESL teacher kasi, I also work part-time at the psychological center. And I'm not a licensed coach yet, but I've attended coaching seminars. I'm a master practitioner sa Points of View, which is parang coaching tool na it can be used by regular families and or it can be used for seminars, it can be used for coaching, ganyan. So very very flexible yung tool na yon. And yon, prior to the pandemic kasi yun yung pinagkakaabalahan namin, ganyan. So I can facilitate that during the coaching session. So parang yung boss ko, ako ay tawag dito, kasama sa mga sessions, ganyan. And so nung nag-start yung pandemic, she was actually thinking of offering free mental health parang consultations online, ganyan. However, sobrang taas talaga ng anxiety at that time. Sobrang, nandun ka sa helping profession, you know what to do. You have all the seminars. You have all the things that could actually back you up sana. Pero sobrang naig yung takot. Sabi ko, kaya ko ba? Parang hindi ko ata, parang sarili ko nga sobrang unstable. How can I help other people in their own struggles? Baka mas ma-pull ko pa sila pababa instead na tulungan ko sana sila paakyat. And I was in that state during the entire time. Hindi ko na nasagot yung boss ko. Parang akong ghost sa mga tao sa paligid ko. Sobrang inilayo ko yung sarili ko kasi I doubted my capacity to help, to do something. Ganyan. Sobrang lahat ng... Parang akong nag-detach talaga sa lahat ng mga tao sa paligid ko. Whether sa mga closest friends, sa boss, sa... I'm an ESL teacher, so basically hindi sana ako affected ng pandemya. I was so lucky, but I couldn't bring myself to teach, to deal with people. So sobrang down talaga ako nung 2020, and parang the only thing that actually saved me that time, medyo weird man pakinggan, was fangirling. So dun lang ako actually nakakahugot nung strength ng tawag dito. Kasi parang dun ako nakahanap ng community that can actually help out. Hindi naman, we don't know each other personally. We don't talk a lot. We don't know much about each other. Pero kasi parang since you belong to this one big family na meron kang goal, parang parang one way or another it helped me na magpakatatag. And luckily I naligaw ako dun sa sabi ko sa inyo kung saan ako napupunta sa fandom na to. Parang there was this one time na parang sobrang wala nga akong ginagawa. I cannot bring myself to teach. So I had lots of free time. So parang na-associate ako with A writers. So for a time na ano ko siya na-explore ko ulit yung love ko for writing, which is something positive naman. So even though yun, hindi ako makapag-function normally sa aking personal life, I was able to explore that part of me na naiwanan ko before the pandemic. And also may time na nakapagsulat din sa sobrang bigat ng feeling, nakapagsulat din ng spoken word poetry, ganyan. So parang sobrang laking tulong na you're actually surrounded and you're inspired by people who are driven, who have so much dreams, and who are so talented. Actually, sobrang daming talented sa fandom, and nakaka-inspire sila to do something, even in these trying times. So, yun. Parang, and then, parang later on, nung I was able to start doing that na. Kasi nung umpisa parang ano lang talaga, literal na fangirling lang. But nung medyo parang naka-gain ako ng confidence from going back dun sa mga things that I missed doing, I started reconnecting one by one with my closest friends. Kasi sobrang nag-detach talaga ako sa mga tao sa paligid ko. I didn't have the courage na bumalik kasi nga ghost nga. So parang feeling ko na na-abandon ko yung mga tao, yung mga importanteng tao sa paligid ko. And hindi ko na alam kung paano ko babalik sa buhay nila kasi I was gone for so long. And yun. Luckily siguro, I'm really surrounded by people who are so understanding. Kahit yung mga closest friends ko, kahit sobrang tagal kong nawala, or hindi naman ako nawala, pero like, hindi ako nagparamdam. Nandiyan pa rin sila, and then na-realize ko na sila din may pinagdadaanan. I was just so focused on myself, on my own feelings, na hindi ko na naisip na kailangan din pala nila ako at that time, and I wasn't there for them. So yeah, yung nung time na yun parang hindi nga ako nag-work, so parang medyo napapagsabihan ako ng parents ko. Although yeah, hindi naman kami well off, pero kasi kaya mag-survive kahit hindi ako gaanong nag-work. So pero yeah, syempre concerned sila sa akin kasi hindi na ako nagfa-function normally. So parang they were out of concern, they would talk to me and I will parang snap back at them kasi kasi sobra yung anxiety and hindi ko ma-express talaga kung ano yung gusto kong iparating, hindi ko ma-share sa kanila, and minamasama ko yung mga kahit alam kong out of concern lang naman. So parang naalala ko yung mga pinagdaan ko nung I was under depression. Nasabi ko, oops, teka, parang umuulat So doon ko na-realize na ay mali na to. Parang I really have to do something about it because everybody around me has been so loving lang, and they're just concerned, pero iba na naman yung ginagawa ko. So doon ko na-realize na parang no, I have to put a stop to it. I have to do something. And then there was this one book, I think this is very familiar, not to everybody. The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. Yan. So if you don't have the time to read the entire book, I suggest meron siyang yung author mismo, he was so generous to give summary nung kanyang entire book. Available siya sa YouTube. Yeah, you can go watch if you like. Pero sobrang real talk kasi nung libro na yon. Sobrang siya, wake up call. Parang nanampal. Ganyan. Gising. Ganon. So that was instrumental para magising ako sa katotohanan and balikan ko yung mga tao and then yung mga activities na talagang nagmamatter sa akin. So yun. That was my 2020 journey.
Sorry ha. I mean, I can relate totally dun sa and I'll share that later on. Pero parang lang ako, may pumasok lang sa isip ko, sabi ko, so yung mga nanggo-ghost, baka naman kasi meron silang pinagdadaanan, di ba? So hindi lahat
Highly
siguro
likely.
nanggo-ghost ay sinasadya nila mang-ghost. Okay. So alam mo na siya, sure.
Depende.
Depende. I am,
So
Depende kung paano kanya ginos. Oo. Baka naman umaming ka, tapos bigla siyang nawala. Ibig sabihin hindi kayo meant to be.
Depende sa
sinaktan ko lang talaga.
that
circumstances.
person is not ready for you.
Oo. Sinaktan ko lang talaga kayo.
Pero
Yun lang yung point ko.
pwedeng yung mga nanggo-ghost, baka nga meron din silang mga mental
Posible.
health.
Actually, majority of the time, yun yung ginagawa nila. They ghost people.
Oh, okay.
Tulad ko, di ba? I'm a ghost. Joke lang. Joke lang. Napatawa ko lang kayo. Masyado tayo seryoso. Okay ka lang ba, Vina? Okay ka lang?
Yes, I'm good na. Better
You're
na
good
from,
Okay.
yes.
Yes,
Gusto
lumabas
lang-
na ulit siya. Dati nga nawala yan.
Yeah. Tapos yun nga, nakalimutan ko sabihin, parang sobrang laking factor ng mga tao na, yung friends ko, like ngayon 2021, sobrang clingy na kami sa isa't isa. Like every Saturday, meron kaming parang session lang na talagang mag-uusap-usap lang kami, magkakwento lang kami about our week, ganyan. Kasi we realized na we needed each other. And we don't want to miss na those moments. Kahit yung mga simpleng bagay, yung mga push. Sila yung nagpo-push sa akin na gawin yung mga bagay na dapat kong gawin, and I do the same to them. We lift each other up. So kailangan talaga, na-realize ko how important it is to have those people around you na mapagkakatiwalaan mo talaga.
Community, no? Sige. How about si Cha? Ikaw naman? Meron ka bang experience?
Ghost. Ayun. Ako naman, feeling ko, prior to pandemic, meron akong mga episodes na parang ina-atake. Actually, I don't, kinaka-categorize ko siya bilang masaya tsaka malungkot. Ganun lang. Hindi ko as much as possible, hindi ko i-apply yung term na anxiety or depression kasi feeling ko sobrang bigat niya na para i-describe yung nararamdaman ko. Ganyan. So, yung mga first month ng quarantine, feeling ko, blessing in disguise. Kasi parang ito yung moment na, yes, pahinga. Ito yung mga panahon na, yung mga panahon na ito yung matagal mo lang gusto mag-rest kasi sobrang pagod sa trabaho, ganyan. So, yung mga yon medyo thank you, makakapag-rest ako, ganyan, makakapag-spend ng time with family, ganyan. Tapos yun, actually sabay yung pagpa-fangirl doon. Tapos, pero realize ko, parang tsaka kasi ako, tawag dito, hindi ako masyado din palalabas. So, na-enjoy ko yung personal time, sa bahay lang, kahit pag-aayain ka lumabas, hindi din talaga ako sasama. So, ganun. Kasi parang, I'm keeping my circle small. Tapos, madali ako masuffocate pag, around people na sobrang dami. So, parang feeling ko, okay, parang hindi ako masyadong affected ng pandemic, kanya, kahit naboryo ko sa bahay na parang mabubulok na ako sa bahay, something ganyan. Parang hindi naman ako ganun ka-affected. Not until siguro mga, I think, June. Parang birthday ko yata yun. Introverted siya. Basta parang birthday ko yun. I choose not to celebrate. As in, parang gusto ko lang ng cake. Ganyan lang. Tapos hindi pa nga happy birthday nakalagay sa cake ko. Ang nakalagay sa birthday cake ko that time ay, you are loved forever. Parang ganon. Oo, hindi siya happy
Bakit parang naman nung message siya? You are loved forever, ha?
Hindi ko alam. Sabi ng ate ko, kasi ate ko nga tayong bumili nun. So, bakit ganyan? Bakit hindi happy birthday? Ganyan. So, basta yung gusto ko lang tawag dito. Parang something unique. Oo, ganyan. Tapos, may mga times na parang, matutulala ka lang, umiiyak. Ganun na ako, nandun na ako sa point na ganun. So, ano nangyari sa akin, ganyan. Tapos, may mga, kasi, siguro, dahil, hindi lang din talaga, parang hindi ganun lagi yung mood mo. Parang kailangan mo din talaga ng pang-balance. Parang hindi porket introvert ka, yung parang may enjoy mo siya for long time.
Yeah.
Kasi kailangan mo rin talaga ng mga tao. Oh yes. Katulad kay Vina, siya nag-ghost or nag-detach sa friends. Ako totally. Sobrang tagal kong deactivated sa Facebook. Last year. Sobrang tagal. Tapos ngayon may mga may mga days, weeks din. Actually ngayon, deactivated din may Facebook ko. May mga ganun akong ayoko nung makakita na, ayoko mag-scroll. Tapos pag may nangangamusta sa akin, ito na naman, bumabalik na naman yung anxiety ko. Kasi may message na, nangyari sa'yo, hindi kita nararamdaman. Hindi kita nararamdaman, ganyan, hindi ka na nag-share. Tapos sasabihin ko lang, kaya mag-worry, ganyan, boy pa ako. Ginaganon ko lang sila. Tapos parang feeling ko, bakit parang parang nagbago na. Imbis na parang okay naman ako ng bahay lang at parang hassle, wala kang masyadong Tapos during masteral din ganyan, anxiety ko ng Friday, imbis na yay, parang thank God it's Friday. Grabe yung anxiety ko kasi, may masters kami bukas, ganyan yung prof ko, ganyan. Ang dito, toxic yung prof ko, ganyan, sobrang dahil pinapagawa, ganyan. Doon nati-trigger yung anxiety ko sobra pag mga deadlines ako, tapos parang feeling ko ako na lang inaantay nila, ganyan. Tapos for being a leader sa group, ayun, parang dagdag pressure siya. Ganyan. Actually, ngayon, meron pa din. Kaya parang gusto ko nga malaman kung may mga level ba yan eh. Parang feeling ko, bumabalik-balik, parang hindi ka na umusad. Parang ganon. Parang back to zero.
Ang kala mo naka-recover ka na, tapos biglang, wait, there's more. Ganon.
Oo, parang ganon natin, Abby. Parang, bato? Parang hindi na naman ako nag-move on.
Ayan, tanungin natin si Z mamaya kung baka meron, diba? Tanong natin sa kanya.
Akala ko dati, yung mga affected lang nun, yung mga sobrang outgoing. Kasi di ba sa The Ones, ganun, si Carl, ganyan. Kasi sanay sa hike. Ako hindi naman ganun. Parang feeling ko, sobrang naman na affected. Tapos, yung lagi ko lang sabihin na, down na naman ang energy ko. Actually, yung Friday, ayan si Z, may seminar ako ng morning. Tapos, nagkausap din kami dito sa Zoom nung afternoon. Tapos, may usapan kami na mag-space kami, Twitter space ng 8 o'clock. Tapos hindi na ako sumali. Ang sabi ko lang sa kanya, ayoko na mag-speaker. Parang wala na akong gana. Ganun lang, sobrang bilis nung pag-change nung ko. Sabi ko, huwag na akong bigyan ng mic, kikinig na lang ako. Ganun. Tapos, binibigyan ako lagi ng mic. Nag-leave ako dun sa Twitter space. Sabi nga niya, parang, mag-open ka lang kapag pag gusto mong pag-usapan. Ganun. Parang lang, parang ang sudden lagi ng pag-atake. Pag-sumpong-sumpong. Tapos yung sinabi na Ate Abby kanina, yung parang mga friends mo. May friend kasi ako na ganyan. Yun, doon din, isa pa yun. Suffocated ako kasi gusto niya lagi akong kausap. Parang ikaw, kailangan mo naman ng me time. Hindi, babae naman yun. Kasi sabi niya lang, ang lagi niya lang sinasabi na I don't have a lot of people. Parang gano'n. Parang ako lang din. Tapos sister niya. Tapos isang friend. Parang tatlo lang kami. Since may problema siya sa sister niya, may problema siya sa friend niya, ako na lang. Ako, parang ayaw ko nga munang may kausap. parang nahahawa din kasi ako nung nung energy niya na parang problematic, gano'n. Actually siya, nagpa-test din. Nagpa-consult. Parang feeling niya talaga kailangan na niya. Ayun. So, kaya parang kailangan din malaman nila na kung bakit ka hindi nakikipag-communicate. Ganyan.
Sige, process natin yan kasi I think may feedback dyan si Z or meron siyang insights dyan. So, punta naman tayo kay Doc Pearl. Ito medyo marami tong nangyari sa kanyang buhay during the pandemic di ba? Tama ba? Nag-exam ka yung licensure during the pandemic?
Yes. So, yung experience ko during pandemic, at first, it was just like Chas experience na, finally, rest. After siguro mga 2 years of going into constant duties hospital, it was refreshing, honestly. Um, I get to wake up at 9 a.m. I get to wake up at 9 a.m. and then yung mag-breakfast na hindi ka nagmamadali. Tas I was able to really naka-catch up ako sa mga K-dramas. At first I was really happy. It was a welcome change. However, ano kasi ako I'm like RJ of the Juans. I'm an extrovert. So, extrovert ako. So, it was hard after a few weeks. I needed human interaction. Nakakabaliw na mag-isa ka lang sa kwarto. That's all you see is the four corners of your room. And then, wala kang makakausap. Tapos, wala pa akong friends sa Twitter at that time. So, nagre-retweet ng si Min. And then, parang ako nababaliw. Honestly, I think I was really going to go insane. And then, I talked to my boyfriend, but then it's different. Puro lang video call. I really wanted someone to sit before me and mag-usap, ganun. But then, I couldn't have that. I didn't have that. I didn't have that luxury. So, siguro naka-help sa akin was, the online services in church. It allowed me to be calm and to be still. So, okay na yun. Nalampasan ko na yun. And then, here comes another challenge. Scrolling through Facebook, I see a lot of posts about doctor shaming. Hindi daw kasi totoo ang COVID. So it got me stressed again because adik ba kayo? Na-stress ako because my friends who are working in the hospital they've been staying in the hospital for 15 days straight, going into duty for 15 days straight. So they're not able to hug their families or not able to go home. They're being infected with COVID. Tapos sabihin lang na, hindi totoo yung COVID. The doctors are profiting out of this disease. I'm like, what? So yun, na-stress ako. Plus, during that time, while we were going to review, hindi na pwede yung online, on-site review. So we had to go through online. So it was all Zoom. And it was so stressful because, Zoom fatigue. Siguro 30 minutes lang. Wala na. Ayoko na mag-review. So, wala na akong gana mag-listen sa review, sa nagre-review sa nagle-lecture. So, kumakain lang ako. Naging audience na lang. Wala nang pumapasok sa utak ko. And then, also, another stressor was na-postpone yung boards. So, instead of September, they had to move it. But then, they were not yet sure of the date. So, imagine, I started reviewing May. And then I had no idea when should I stop reviewing because they couldn't set the date because of the rising cases, all that. So I hustled for May, June, July, August. It was really uncertain, and I remember I woke. I had to sleep siguro mga 12 to 1 a.m. Sometimes extending to 2 a.m. Then I had to wake up at 6 so that I can maximize my time. I can read more, pero I don't know when I will end. So it was really stressful. And then after that you hear this stories on Facebook na si doctor ganito nag-positive, si doctor ganito nag-positive. I'm like, oh my god, a lot of people are getting infected. It was piling up. Plus yung kalampag pa sa Twitter. Stressor din yon. It was a really big stressor also for me. And then everything was piling up. And then when they announced they announced na mag-e-exam na kami, we had to wear masks and face shields sa review sa mismong exam. So imagine yung stress din na oh my gosh, ang init kasi hindi pwede mag-aircon. Kasi nga 'di ba, aircon, yung COVID, mas grabe yung transmission. And then we had siguro mga 2 seats apart kami. And then I took the board exam before when I was in nursing. It was hard already na wala pang mask and face shield. But going through this board exam with mask and face shield, it was 10 times more difficult. Imagine, ang init. Kalaban mo talaga yung init. You have to think on what to answer. You have to review all those formulas and all those yung mga stories na ginawa mo sa head mo para maintindihan at ma-remember mo yung tamang sagot ng question na to or something like that. And then yung init, tas hindi ka pa makahinga ng maayos because of the mask, the face shield. That was hindi ko alam ilang sari doon yung na inom ko that time just to relieve my headache. But then that was really, really, really stressful for me. Siguro, the one thing, even after all that stressor, all those stressors, there was still some good that came out of that. One thing was, I found my YPA fam, and it was really I really prayed for friends who are not only can I share things about SB19 but also about life. And so I was very, very happy that I found YPA. It was really YPA is God sent. It was really a answered prayer. I'm very happy that I found them because the friendships that I forged with them transcended beyond the fandom. I was able to share my experiences, and I know Cha is a witness of how gaga I was during those times. Grabe, yung mag-chat lang ako na, guys, I'm so stressed, ganito. But I'm really happy that they were able to pull me out of that darkness. They were able to pusher. They were able to push me to carry on and study more and hustle and get that license. So a few weeks, I think that was a few weeks before my board, or a week before my boards, we came together sa GC, nag-video call kami. And I was really, really thankful for that because they prayed for me at that time. And that really helped me to become calm. Kasi nakita nila kung gaano ako ka-stress, nakita nila kung gaano gaano ako kaya hindi ko na alam kung anong gagawin ko. And I was thankful that they prayed for me. And na-feel ko yung sincerity nila sa akin na when I passed, it was not just my victory, but it was also theirs. Yeah. And I really felt that when I passed, everyone was like, "Wah!"
Yes, we were super feeling, proud. Yes. Kasi parang, wow, may doktor na. May doktor na sa atin, di ba?
Yes. Thankful ako. Thankful ako sa YPA. And my quarantine life wouldn't have been that colorful if it weren't for YPA.
Yes.
So, yes.
So, join na kayo, guys. Join na kayo. Kahit students open, intern, ganyan. Join na kayo. O, presidenta, Kiel. Pinromote. Yun. So parang what I'm taking away from, what you've shared, at least kay Vina, and then even kay Cha, and then kay Doc Pearl, community really helps, no? Parang merong talaga yung makahanap ka ng safe, parang a group of people where you feel safe, you trust them, diba? To you trust them enough to share what you're feeling, to be real. Kasi sometimes, honestly, kahit ako, may friends ako na parang, syempre hindi ko naman sasabihin sa kanila na, you know what, I'm depressed, you know what, I'm struggling in this area of my life, ganyan, I feel so lonely. Kasi lagi mo ding iniisip na may buhay din sila, di ba? Meron din silang struggles, ganyan. So parang you're being parang yun ang perspective ko. I don't know if you feel the same way. Parang yung perspective mo is, I feel selfish kapag ako lang yung lagi mag-share, di ba? Pero yung experiences ninyo, yung takeaway ko doon is community really helps. Having yung kay Pearl, yung sa YPA, that also helped me. I found some really good friends. Like, sometimes, parang ang ganda din ng community na naranasan ko doon sa fandom na, when I'm, tweeting something that bothers me, and then someone na hindi ko naman na-expect would send me a message. And then would tell me, uy, are you okay? How can I help you? Ganun. Parang may magre-reach out na hindi mo inaasahan na magre-reach out siya sa'yo. Pero pinakita sa'yo yung concern. And that compels you also to do the same. When you see someone who's struggling, obviously, the tweet ng mga nararamdaman nila, ganyan, you also try to reach out, and kahit, offer, if you want to listen, if you want someone to listen to you, andito lang ako, 'di ba? Parang suddenly you want to help, 'di ba? So, yun yung parang takeaway ko, that community is really important, being open, having a safe space for you to share what you feel. Not kahit minsan hindi na yung para tulungan ka or sometimes yung mag-share ka lang, like ganito, magkaroon lang ng conversation, ma-share mo lang yung nararamdaman mo, gumagaan na, and then they will just, they will pray for you, diba? Parang ang laki nung natutulong sa puso mo na, shucks, diba? I feel empowered, I feel like I can do this, and I feel hopeful and optimistic about what's gonna happen in the future. Hi, this is the end of the first part of episode 3. The continuation will be posted in another episode. Thank you for learning with us today.